The Prime Minister is on the spot over alleged misappropriation of millions of shillings meant to cushion thousands of jobless youth across the country. The World Bank, in a preliminary audit report, revealed that at least 35.7 million shillings that was part of the Kazi Kwa Vijana project kitty had been misused through allocations to senior officials in the Prime Minister's office for activities that were unrelated to the project, including funding non-existent seminars. The World Bank had allocated 4.3 billion shillings to the initiative and had already disbursed 971 million shillings. The money was meant to pay wages for youths engaged in the Kazi Kwa Vijana project. The youths were to be engaged in manual projects in their communities that include building water dams, irrigation, repair of boreholes and access roads, clearing bushes and planting trees. The Prime Minister has come under fire from his political rivals who want him to take political responsibility and quit.
The design of the Kazi Kwa Vijana initiative from the beginning was meant to be a conduit for stealing public money.
But Prime Minister Raila Odinga, through Permanent Secretary in his office Mohamed Isahakia, dismissed reports of alleged misuse or loss of the Kazi Kwa Vijana funds. In a statement, Isahakia said some of the disbursed money may have been used for purposes that were not consistent with the objectives of the Kazi Kwa Vijana project or the World Bank policies. This, he said, did not in any way mean that the money had been stolen. While undertaking to remedy any weaknesses that may have emerged in relation to coordination and supervision of the Kazi Kwa Vijana initiative, the Prime Minister's office insisted that it was too early to determine whether the expenditures questioned by the World Bank were ineligible. This, according to Isahakia, could only be done after a joint review of relevant documents by the bank and the Prime Minister's office. 5 members of Parliament from the Prime Minister's Orange Party had earlier defended the Premier and accused his critics of political witch hunting.
That function of supervision and coordination does not entail execution. And that is why, when Anglo-leasing happened, for example, nobody asked the president to resign. It was the line ministers that were asked to resign.
The World Bank, from the findings of the internal audit, concluded that the Kazi Kwa Vijana project was high risk and vulnerable to graft and demanded a refund of 971 million shillings it had disbursed.
There is an amount of about 900 million which is being talked about. This amount was actually used to fuel government vehicles that were used to supervise these projects.
Odinga's critics are planning to use the floor of Parliament this week to demand answers from the Premier on the alleged misappropriation of the World Bank funds meant to offer a lifeline to thousands of jobless youths in the country. Francis Gachuri, Citizen Live at 9.